I was putting in work, the money came after.
Wiley released one of the prized grime albums of the decade last year, acting as a reflection upon the scene and his legacy as one of the grime veterans, presented like a fast-paced history lesson a la Hank Green. Bombastic beats and breakneck flows were what Godfather was all about, and what grime has more or less been all about in general, very much a flowing one's game. I was very excited for Godfather II, but the shorter length and surprising amount of pop concessions made on the album makes me realise that the supposed sequel may be either leftovers in the fridge reheated in the microwave, or Wiley simply trying his hand at more mainstream pop rap sounds. I'm not sure why it's named after the first Godfather then. I'd say the album falls after track 5, but from Been a While down to Remember Me, Wiley actually spits great flows over beats that sound a bit like Disney soundtrack remixes, although Wiley's lyrics in particular are quite lacking. Yeah, we get it, wickedest rhymes and flows. The production on I Call the Shots featuring JME and his hilarious shot at Ofsted bangs pretty great with crystally hits of chiptune synths, but it's the track Bar that might have my favourite beat, beginning on the same chiptune rush sounding like the 3 MCs on the track are leveling up or something, and then falling into a drop that sounds derived from dubstep, tempered into something very groovy. I do wonder why on earth Scratchy began his verse with a ridiculously weak couplet. I spit a 16 bar, hot like tar, soon to be star, get very far. Sounds like the man read off the first line of results on Rhyme Zone. It's very often on Godfather II that I think Wiley's strengths are lying elsewhere, and indeed he gets close to realizing this on Remember Me when he says that if he was in a band, he'd play the maracas. It is track 6 onwards that showcases all of Wiley's attempts at crossing over into mainstream trends. It's cool to hear Bossman switching it up, but I don't think Wiley runs very well into these styles, like the hip house cut Certified, or the track All the Time where we hear the man sing an auto-tuned hook, resulting just as smoothly as you'd expect it to. I don't particularly think Wiley's lyrical abilities translate very well into songs that don't suit the comically bombastic punchlines that are often meant to be delivered with the gusto and recklessness that a song like Bring Them All or Lucid did on Godfather I, or even the first grouping of tracks on Godfather II here. There's a distracting veneer to this album that sheds away the personality of Wiley and makes mainstream pop concessions to save weight. You only need to look as far as Crash, which features a sung hook from SINEAD HARNETT that takes up most of the spotlight. It may as well have been her song, actually. This is a little more than Godfather II not being as good as the first Godfather. In fact, it's as if the sequel is genuinely just a completely different thing from the original, like how I feel about Home Alone 3. As decent as the first few tracks are, they don't really hold this album up, rewarding it overall with a 4 out of 10. It's perplexing to me because I could have sworn the pre-release track listing was much more different from what it is now. This album rollout might just be one of the most tragic I've seen this year, and I have an eerie feeling it may not even just be down to Wiley. I mean, if it is, then good on him, I guess. Pat on the back for doing what he wishes, but so much of it is out of his zone of strengths.